Hello everyone, welcome to the channel of Chen Mo. Last video we've introduced what is a financial report and the major steps of how financial statements are completed. In this video, we will continue to introduce another especially important step in our daily work in business services in accounting firms, which is completing work papers. Actually, I wouldn't really call this a separate step because this is generated in the process of us arriving to the financial reports. Work papers are the collection and completion of documents assembled to provide detailed and sufficient evidence that the financial reports are an accurate reflection of the company's financial performance and position. Work papers can be compiled in many different ways depending on the firm's policies. I will introduce two common ways. The first one, in some firms, work papers are performed with a reference to the trial balance. Because trial balance is a worksheet in which the balances of all ledgers are compiled into debit and credit account column totals. So this gives a comprehensive ground place to reference the work paper to all ledger accounts. As we've mentioned before, work papers are essentially any documentation that gives evidence to the existence and the correctness of the value of that particular item or account. It can be a source document, a narrative, an email confirmed by client, a list of calculation, etc. For example, you could link to the inventory account the work paper of an inventory list generated by client's inventory system. In some occasions, it could even be a stock take number that is given by the client that is reasonable for us to rely on. The work paper for a bank account, for example, is very straightforward. It is a bank reconciliation statement and the bank statement itself with the balance agreeing to the reconciliation. In simple words, work papers for assets and liabilities on the balance sheet are the documentation that proves as at the date of 30th June of that financial year, those assets and liabilities do exist for the correct value for that business. For income and expenses, documentation to prove that those income and expenses did occur within that 365 days in that financial year. Another type of work paper system, instead of referring to the trial balance, they would use reference numbers to the class of accounts. For example, under Asset section, work papers could be created for the details of each asset showing on the financial statements. In either ways, the format is not the most important. The key point is understanding what documents or notes are required and most effective in giving evidence to the accounts. To achieve a sound work paper as an accountant, apart from our accounting knowledge, we also need to understand the client's business as well. For example, your client Tom's Sushi Shop ABC Pizza Limited had a revenue recorded for that year for $500,000. You'll understand that by the size of the shop, it looks slightly less than usual. And by looking at the ledger of the accounts, you don't see cash sales recorded. Then we would confirm this query with the client to find the reason. Once we receive the answers, we would either make adjustments to the accounts or, if this is the fact, write down the detailed narrative as part of the work paper to the sales account. One more thing to mention is that you may notice in most software, accounts are assigned with account numbers. If you see those account numbers, do keep in mind that they are not assigned randomly. Most accounting software assigns account numbers to all accounts. However, different software has their own style. For example, some uses the style in this way. Accounts starts with 1 dash are assets, with the number 2 dash are liabilities, with the number 3 dash are equities, and keeps going on. Some gets rid of the dashes and go with 101 to 199 are professional income, 201 to 299 are trading income, 301 to 399 are cost of goods sold, 401 to 499 are overhead expenses, and keeps going on. This kind of assignment of account number is usually called account list or master account. It allows the creation of any new account. However, it is important to assign the number under the correct category. For example, if you want to create an account for a current liability, then use the account number starting with 2- and within the range that the current liabilities are assigned. This is important because usually the accounting software generates the financial report by following the account list. For example, the accounts within the 2- range will be showing up as liabilities on the financial statements. If a wrong account number is assigned, it'll show up at the wrong place on the final financial statements. Okay, that's all for today about work papers. Hope this video is helpful to your work. See you next time.